Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Sadler here from the Big Metal Detecting podcast live at Detectable, and this morning we've got a bit of a Minelab special. So we're going to be speaking to several people from the Minelab company, including the gentleman stood next to me right now, and we're also going to visit the test bed to see what's going on in there and maybe have a live test of the new Vanquish. So this morning our guest is Mr. Julian Sammon, who is the UK representative for Minelab, am I correct?
I am, yes. I'm the business development manager for Western Europe, so the UK is I can say today, my most important market, you know.
Western Europe's quite a big place.
It is, yes, but you know, I played a lot of Risk as a kid, so I think I know how to take it over successfully. So I do France, Spain, Italy, Portugal and the UK.
So travelling is a big part of your job?
Travelling is a big part of the job, so this event has taken a week it's taken months of preparation, but it's taken a week of logistics to be here on site and get it ready and make sure everything runs smoothly. And look, as a company, I think the big thing for us really is to make sure that everybody who comes here that likes our company and has one of our products has a good time and experiences Detectable the right way. And look, it's a great opportunity to launch Vanquish and to show it to the world. But myself and my Irish colleague Kieran spent yesterday driving around the Gator delivering packed lunches and drinks to people in the field. Anybody we see using the Minelab we try to look after, so it's a good way for us to say thanks to people as well at the same time.
And one of my biggest regrets as a metal detector user is selling my Xterra 705, so I know it's not the most recent of products.
No, but you'd still deserve a sandwich. So if you really want one,
I might have one later. But I in the future, it's definitely going to. When the money's there, I'm definitely going to be getting that. I might upgrade.
Yeah, I think the jumping to the product side of things. I think what Vanquish represents for us is the opportunity to provide a multi-IQ machine, which is the same core technology as an Equinox, which has been a really, really successful product over the last 2 years, and to give that opportunity to use that technology in an entry-level machine, if that's the right way to describe it. So if you're thinking about getting into detecting, or you're thinking about getting back on the detecting horse after several years, you're starting at 229 for a 340. So the entry level is easy enough for anybody who wants to avail of the multi-IQ technology that we've developed. So,
and obviously, as well as that, you've got the Minelab itself. The products have been there for years, and they're always a high standard, always a high quality. And the Vanquish, even though it's not as expensive as some, it's still got the potential to do much more.
Yeah, well, I think the interesting thing is that, to be honest, I'm with the company 3 years. I've come from a non-metal detecting background, and when I joined the company, I heard a lot of customers say that Minelab would be your second or your third detector once you were good enough or experienced enough to be able to afford one, if that was the right way to put it. So like the CTX, I think, was the first machine I ever picked up, and it's sometimes detecting to me feels like learning another language. Whereas what I like about Equinox primarily and Vanquish is that we're demystifying detecting. The software is incredibly powerful, the products are incredibly powerful, yet they're intuitive and they're easy to use. So straight out of the box, you can hit a button on an Equinox and a Vanquish and go detecting and not feel like you've hurdles to overcome to actually enjoy the hobby. I think that's the most important thing, is to make it easier for people.
Now, promotionally wise, we stood next to one of your...
This is not actual size, right? just so people know.
It's quite do we know the actual size of this?
Well, you can see it down here. It's just under 30 inches long, compacted. Yeah. So I suppose it's a collapsible detector, which is what a lot of entry-level users want to have. And it's quite lightweight as well. It's just under 1.3 kilos.
And the box we've got next to us, it's what, I don't know, a good 15-20 feet by 10 feet?
Yes. So I think there might be several thousand detectors in that box. But look, I think the branding is quite strong, but everything that you need to know, thankfully, about the product is on the front of the pack. So we've made a product that most common use, we've tried to reverse engineer products. I think my boss likes to talk about the fact that we have 50 engineers in Adelaide and are some of the smartest guys you'd meet, but I've often worked for companies that made products because they could and didn't think about the end user. So I think with Vanquish, what we've done is we've looked at exactly what price points, what features and functionality users want from a detector, and worked backwards from that point to create a product. and I think that's the most important thing. So, like the park, field, beach modes that are on Vanquish are the same kind of iconographies that's on the Equinox, so it's easy to understand. Everything that's on the control panel was in reach of your thumb. Every button shows you exactly what it does. So navigating and understanding it is really easy.
Now, obviously, as you just said, all the information about this particular machine is all over the box. Obviously, we're not visual, so can you tell us a bit more about the Vanquish, as in the what it can do, what's in the background?
Well, I suppose the simple way is kind of all soils all the time is what the multi-IQ technology is really designed to do, and I think multi-IQ technology is kind of, for us, is it's almost like the M3 badge in a BMW or an S-Line badge in an Audi, for if anybody gets that reference. It's the underlying reinforcement that that the technology that's in the product is going to sort out the trash and get you to whatever you need to get to. And I think that's the main benefit of the technology, is that it requires less involvement from the detectorist in trying to edit the settings on the detector to make it find what they're looking for, or to find whatever's in the ground. So I think Vanquish is going to do exactly what Equinox does in some respects, but obviously it doesn't have the same level of personalization, mainly because we know who we're trying to sell this product to. So, we're keeping it simple. And I think for me, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the first release product, because I'm going to start this journey with the consumer at the same time. So my plan is to take it out of the box like everybody else and learn to use it like everybody else. And then as we evolve as a company and we produce more multi-IQ products, because Peter Charlesworth, our CEO, is on record as saying that we'll never make a single frequency detector again. This will be the foundation of all our products. We'll be able to grow, and as you specialise and you get better and more confident and you want more personalisation and more depth and more features, you'll be able to move up through the range of Minelab successfully. So start with this, and when you're ready, graduate to an Equinox, and when you're ready, graduate to whatever comes down the line. So I think that's the big message for me, is simple, easy to understand, and you only ever have to learn one detecting language if you buy a Minelab. Start with a Vanquish.
And it's a very good philosophy, what you say about starting at the bottom and working up as well. Obviously people go for the entry machines, there's lots about, and this falls smack bang in the middle of it. And Minelab being so well recognised as a company, it's potential for that to be quite massive, really.
Yeah, and I think sometimes brands in lots of different industries can ignore consumer segments, mainly out of, misplaced confidence. I think we're a confident company. I think, we've got a great engineering resource, and I suppose, I don't mean to sound benevolent, but why wouldn't you want to make a really good value detector that does exactly what that person wants it to do at that price point? Because, we should sell a detector to anybody who wants to sell a detector. So that's really why. You start with a 330 it's going to be 229 including VAT sterling. You go to 299 with the 440. And then you go 399 with the 540, and then 489 with the 540 Pro. So you've got 4 detectors under 500 quid, all very good at what they do at that price point in comparison to the competition. So, whatever your budget is, we'd like you to buy one of ours, which is why we've kind of made this product.
And the other ones you mentioned, the range of the 4, obviously the higher the price, the more in depth and more you can do with the machine.
Yeah, so there's with the 440 and the 540, the stuff like rain covers, there's different modes in the 440 and the 540. The 540 Pro pack will come with a 8-inch coil and a 12-inch coil. The standard, the 340 and the 440 will have a 10-inch coil as standard. They're waterproof to 3 meters. So this is not like a submersible detector, because like when we've done the research, and like I work in a lot of markets where there's a lot of beach detecting, most entry level detectors aren't used in the water that frequently, or if at all. So like Italy is a really good example where, because of the legislation, most detecting is done on the beach. So you see a lot of Equinox 800s being sold because they're going to end up in the ocean at some stage. Whereas for this product, and in the UK specifically, I can't see many people going scuba diving with an entry-level detector. And that's not being dismissive of scuba divers or entry-level detectors, but it's a horses for courses thing. So I think now with these 4 products, the 2 Equinox and the rest of the range, we've got a selection of detectors under £1,000, starting at 100 if you want with a go find, that you can get into our brand at any point in your budget. and I think that's a great thing for us, really, to get people into the family as early as possible.
As a starter, one of the machines I had when I refound the hobby, I put on the side behind me while I was digging something up, and it rolled into the river. So yes, it didn't work again.
It's like an iPhone. I think if you take it out quickly enough and you stick it in a bag of rice, it might survive. But you can splash the control box, and it'll take a pounding in general English weather conditions. But I think sometimes people look for features and products that they're nice haves, but are they ever going to really use them? And again, we're trying to simplify the hobby for people, not complicate it, and make distinct. And to be honest, if you're selling a car, you want to go 1 series, 2 series, 3 series, 4 series. You want to be able to have a conversation with a customer. So this is a good product these products are great for our dealers as well, because if somebody comes in looking for a product at a price, the gaps between our products now are not too big a jump that they can be upsold to something else if it's the right product for them. And it's always about getting the right product for the detectors, not selling them the most profitable one a lot of the time. So we're in the process now next week, now that we've officially released it and have the pricing available, that we'll be taking pre-orders for dealers in the UK and across Europe. So, and we'll release shipping information at some stage over the next couple of months. So we haven't confirmed that yet.
So we're probably looking at the Vanquish appearing on the market early 2020?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'll have to be agnostic on that. So I'll wait for a missive from above. So I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver, because that really disappoints my children, because I do it all the time. So no, look, I'm we'll get it out as soon as it's ready to get out, and that'll be sooner rather than later. But there'll be an official release once it's confirmed. So
your agnostic remark that I'm taking that away and using it in the future. That was
that's all right.
Brilliant.
I'm a lapsed Catholic, so that's what we always say in Ireland. You're lapsed Catholic, you're agnostic. So it's I think people want to get their hands on this, but we want to get it right completely before it's out. So what we're doing at the moment is the manufacturing is up and running. So the units that you'll see in the test bed, they're still prototypes. They're almost there. The software is exactly what the software will be in the machines, but we're optimizing a few things before it gets out, because look, to be honest, the biggest thing for the company is the quality of the product. So you have to make sure the quality of your product is right. We never rush a product to market. It has to be right before it leaves the factory, because we don't like them coming back, because that disappoints consumers and it disappoints us, and we don't have a reputation for doing that, and it ain't going to happen.
So you mentioned earlier about future products and what have you. Your multi-frequency and what have you.
Yeah.
I take it there currently is numerous things in place for the future.
Well, I suppose I saw a presentation a few weeks back from our CEO. He came to visit us in Ireland, and he was talking about what they talk in engineering terms as concurrent projects. So I think Minelab have upped their. So Minelab is part of the Codan group. Codan do radio communications for military. We do ground sensing radar. We do military metal detectors. So all of that research and development and contracts with governments in Australia and the States and elsewhere, all that technology filters down into Minelab metal detectors eventually. So I think we've moved from 3 projects that run concurrently to 5. So there's a great churn at the moment now. I have no visibility on what the next Minelab Coin and Treasure product's going to be, or the next Minelab Gold product's going to be, but because of the success of Equinox and because of the time and effort we're putting into Vanquish, if we keep being successful, consumers will keep benefiting from the research and development that will go into it, because it's a chicken and an egg situation. So the more successful we are with these detectors, the more new detectors we'll make, and the more we'll be able to offer consumers at the higher end and at the lower end of the market, I think, over the next 3 to 5 years. So I'm looking forward to it. So I think it's, the way I look at it, I work for a kind of a world-class marketing organisation that sells metal detectors. And that means that you have to be able to back up what you say, and I think that's the most important thing for us, is that whatever it says in the box, it'll do, and we don't try and make claims that we can't back up, and I think that's going to be a constant.
Well, when I leave you in a short while to go round to the test bit, I'm going to actually read out on the box everything it says for the information for the listeners. Last night's launch, the video and the ladies on horseback, how do you feel that went?
As someone who was at its birth when I stood in this field back in April and May with the production company and Mark from Detectable, It went as well as it possibly could have. The wind died, the weather was good, it was a full moon, the performance was excellent. It was a high concept idea, and we like high concept ideas. I hope people enjoyed it. I thought it was something a little bit different, and I think we always try and be a little bit different. And look, for us it's actually just about giving people something to entertain them, not necessarily something it's about entertainment for us, and making a little bit of a bang for the crowd that's here, and look, there'll be people watching on YouTube, but I enjoyed it. Well, but I would say that
on a personal level, the video to me was very reminiscent of Detective Season 3, but also for me, the Lord of the Rings, the original cartoon version. It took me right back.
Oh, really? Yeah, I remember that. God, you and I are old. Then I do remember. that. That was the animation on the real people's bodies.
That's the one, and it's still my favourite version.
Yeah. So no, it is, and that was it. We were standing in the forest one day, and it just kind of popped into our heads. We were going, actually, if we did something kind of medieval, and look. No, not a lot of people know this about, but we have certain kind of, most companies most companies of a marketing organisation have a kind of a core belief behind it. So, with the name Vanquish and being in one of the most historic parts of the world, I thought, why not put some people on horses and reenact someone being vanquished. And the product for us is about not dominating the market, but if you can vanquish some competition, all the better. So I think this is great. I think lots of companies are pushing forward technologically, including us, and at the end of the day it keeps us on our toes, and the consumers are going to benefit from it. So,
well, thank you very much, Julie. It's getting a bit loud here, so I'm going to make my way around to the test bed and have a play around there, and I'm also going to obviously discuss what's written on the pack, because it's in big letters so I can see it. So it's been a pleasure to speak to you this morning and find out more, and obviously keep in touch, and we will filter out any other information to an international audience, hopefully. So, and then again, if you want to come on the podcast yourself in an evening, or another member of, we're going to have some of your YouTubers coming on to podcast, and they'll be talking Minelab. So I'm sure we'll get more Vanquish information out.
And now, listen, look, thanks for the opportunity to talk about it, and I suppose thanks to anybody who's listening to it. So, and if you've any more requests for information as a consumer, just go to minelab.com. It'll all be sitting there waiting for you, and hopefully we'll see it in the UK and elsewhere.
It certainly is, and you've got a wonderful amount of staff here and some great people we've had chats with.
Good.
And I've got to say, Michelle Myers, is it?
Myers, yeah.
Michelle Myers. I've said to her yesterday, you are the jolliest person I've ever met.
She is. She is the captain of the ship for events like this, and she keeps us in line, but she makes sure spirits are high. So I aim to please her as best I can with these kind of things. So I think we've done that this weekend. So I think everybody from Minelab, that some of them are getting on really early flights in the morning, about 9:30 from Heathrow. They'll all go home back to Australia and the States with a spring in their step, and that's an important thing for us as well.
Brilliant. Well, thank you again, Julian, and thanks for all the information, and thanks for obviously a great weekend, because obviously Minelab have been the main thing here, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of it.
Good, thank you. Glad you enjoyed it, and we'll be back next year hopefully.
Brilliant. Have a great day. Take care.
You too.
So I'm on my way around to the test bed now, and as I said, we've got this massive box. It's a 20-foot long box, and it tells you all the information. So as Julian alluded to earlier, it's a deep, lightweight, compact. It's 76 centimetres, 30 inches when collapsed. It's waterproof up to 3 feet. It's water resistant with the rain covered, and it's got park, field and beach sections that you can choose from to use. Now, the breakdown says it's multi-IQ, all metals, all soils, all the time. Beach advantage, maximum beach performance, pinpointing, extreme precision, 6 and 12-inch coils, as Julian said, highly adaptable and waterproof, wireless headphones, enhanced comfort, iron bias, more treasure, less trash, red light, backlight, low light vision. It also says a lot on the back. It goes into a little bit more depth, and this box is massive. Find more faster to revolutionary multi-IQ. It delivers at speed, depth and precise identification of all metals across all soils. More treasure, less trash. Iron bias control gives you the maximum results, so you can hunt out treasure hiding amongst the trash. Turn on and go. In seconds, Vanquish auto selects the best settings for your soil. No need to choose frequencies or ground balance. Audio control, automatic noise cancelling, lag-free audio response and 10 volume settings. Put you in control. Pack and carry. The machine itself is only 1.3 kilograms, which is 2.8 pounds. It's light with a unique collapsible snap lock system, making it easy to pack and go. More depth, greater precision, cover more ground and search deeper with a 12-inch coil. Detect more accurately and in tight spaces with the 8-inch coil. And then we've got a huge picture of the Vanquish itself, the control box. It's got the backlight on and off button, the power on and off, volume adjust, all iron bias, pinpoint, sensitivity adjust, accept or reject, discrimination pattern edit, search mode, Bluetooth as well. Bluetooth obviously a function that we all like these days. And it goes into a little bit of explanation about the multi-IQ advantage. Why multi-IQ? Because the Minelab's revolutionary multi-IQ technology, you've got the combined power of multiple detectors in one, all working for the same time. Simply turn on and go, nothing goes undiscovered and no terrains is off limits. Silver, gold or jewellery, park, field or beach, unearth the power of the Vanquish with multi-IQ. So yeah, it looks a great machine. Obviously the promotion last night worked really well. Everybody saw it. Excuse me, back to Julian.
What we'll do is I'll try and grab one of the engineers from Adelaide to actually go through the product with you on the test bed.
That'd be fantastic.
So I'll go and see if I can source one.
Brilliant. So he's Julian's just popping to get one of the engineers to come over to the test bed. Now, while I'm walking along, it's busy talking. Yesterday, my arm was killing holding the microphone for the podcast. So I'm just going to have a sip of drink to help my parched throat. As we've spoke on the podcasts and on Facebook and such like this week, the Cotswolds view is absolutely outstanding. It's really, really, really beautiful place. I'm walking into the test field at the moment. There's users of metal detectors all over the field itself, and obviously people in the test bed. So mosey on over, and also there's another fantastic bit of promotion here. We've got a Vanquish coil, I'd say about 20 feet tall, inflatable. Looks great, and we had to put a photograph of that on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine Facebook page the other day. So popping into the area now. There's lots and lots of little signs with telling you what's on each, buried into the ground, so you can obviously test the machines. We've got a silver thimble, lead bag seal, buttons, post-medieval bucket, cartwheel pennies, Roman grots, copper penny, spindle whorl, silver pocket watch case, Roman brooch, and numerous other things. And I can see there's a young man there playing with the Vanquish. You might be able to hear the squealing, and it does look well, he must be about, I'd say, 11, and the Vanquish at its position it's at the moment is more than suitable for him. So as I say, we're just waiting for Julian to pop round with somebody so we can see what's going on. So I'm just going to pause the show for a moment. Obviously we won't hear that later in a bit, so we pause the show while we wait for them, and then we'll get back on shortly. Right, you are. I'm here now with James Crossman, who is the lead technical person in charge of the Vanquish. So we've got a perfect person to have a chat about it, and he's currently holding a prototype of the Vanquish 540. Good morning, James. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm ready for bed, but I'm one of the only people who went to bed at a sensible time last night on the whole of the site, I think.
Yeah, we've still got jet lag. We only flew in on Thursday, so still fighting hard to get through that.
So, James, tell me a bit about the Vanquish itself. Start by the look, what it's made of, the shaft, etc., and what coil we're using, such like at the moment.
Yep. So the look overall, we've gone with an S-bend shaft. It's a unique sort of shaft style because we've got a collapsible upper armrest. It's fully adjustable, so you can release a cam lock and it just slides to whatever length will suit your particular arm. And then the lower mid shaft, again there's a cam lock, so fully adjustable length out to quite long, so it suits tall and short, and absolutely perfect for children as well.
Which is actually a child, a young man, about 11 or 12 year old, using one right down to his size at the moment.
Yep, absolutely. So it's perfect to adapt for whatever we need it to.
And with the adaptable shaft at the top where the arm goes, again that's perfect to get in any position from small younger child to middle-aged man to small lady to small man. Everything fits on the machine.
Absolutely, and it makes it perfect for collapsing down to put it into your luggage or into a backpack and make it really easy to carry around the place. So it's a nicely collapsible unit.
And the shaft itself, the main shaft, what material is that?
So the shaft is a aluminium shaft, and then the lower shaft is a fiberglass. So the coil's not going to pick up your lower shaft. We've gone with it's sort of a rounded square shaft for the upper and middle, and the lower shaft is a round, which is similar sort of profile to the Equinox detector.
And the coil we've got at the moment, is that the 10 or the 12?
So the coil we've got at the moment on the 540 is the V12, so it's our 12 by 9 inch coil. The other coils available are the V10, which is a 10 inch by 7, and a V8, which is an 8 inch by 5. So the V8 coil comes in the 540 Pro Pack. So you get the 8 inch coil and the 12 inch coil both together in that Pro Pack.
Mm-hmm. So obviously we've discussed that now. We've got the box unit at the top, which is again nice, small, compact. Everything can be slid together to, as you say, make it easy to carry around, fit in your car, throw it on your front seat instead of having to drop your back seats and such like.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, so the control pod is designed to be as absolutely simple as possible to use for a beginner detectorist, someone just getting into the hobby. We didn't want people to have to navigate through on-screen menus, which can be confusing at times, particularly for an inexperienced user. So the concept we've gone with is there's a button for every function, and it's really easy to find any of those buttons at any time.
So if we switch it on now, James, and then we'll talk about what's happening on the screen.
Yep. So as we turn it on, it jumps straight into an automatic noise cancel process. So same as the Equinox, you can press a button and have the auto noise cancel. We've just put that as part of the startup of the detector. So it gets it straight out of the way to begin with, so you know you're operating in the ideal way right from the start.
Now button-wise, could you go through the buttons, what they do, etc.?
Absolutely. So we've got obviously the power button, so that one just turns the detector on and off and performs a factory reset. We've got volume control, plus and minus, so there's 10 levels of volume. We've got sensitivity, 10 levels of sensitivity. There is a pinpoint button, an all-metal shortcut, and notch discrimination and accept reject. We've got a mode button, so there's 4 different modes. There is coin, relic, jewelry, and the custom user mode. So again, with the novice user in mind, to make it as simple as possible, we can edit the discrimination patterns in any of the modes, but for coin, relic and jewelry, when you turn the detector off and back on again, the discrimination patterns revert back to what they are as a factory default. So if someone gets themselves into trouble at any point by accidentally changing and discriminating out something, they can just turn the detector off and back on, and they're back to a fully usable state. If people want to create their own patterns and keep them, then they're able to do a mode store. So long pressing the mode button will allow the current mode to be saved into the custom slot, and they'll be able to use that every time they turn the detector back on. We've also got a backlight in the 540, which is a red backlight. It's quite a low level, so it's perfect for the low light conditions. There's also the wireless audio, Bluetooth wireless audio, the aptX low latency, the same as what is in the Equinox detector.
So the Bluetooth for obviously your headphones, is that an actual Vanquish headphone, a Minelab headphone, or would that be compatible with other on the market, like something you buy off Amazon or something?
It's fully compatible with just off-the-shelf headphones that you buy on Amazon, but we do provide in the 540 Pro Pack the Minelab wireless Bluetooth headphones, the same as the Equinox 800.
Brilliant. Now, programming. I'm looking at it now, and I can see you've got obviously your horseshoe, which will be for the eye, and your yes and no button for obviously to cancel things that you don't want, such like. Show me how to actually program it if you want to make a custom of it, and obviously explain for the listeners how you would customize something for yourself.
So something that's probably a fantastic place to start is all of our modes are truly different to each other. So we have our coin, relic, jewelry. They each have different recovery speed characteristics. So the coin mode is the fastest mode. That gives you the best target separation. The relic mode is the slowest recovery speed, gives you the best depth. So depending on where you are and what you're looking for, you can select the mode that is best going to suit your detecting style and the conditions. The jewelry mode sits in between the relic and coin, and that's a good compromise sort of mode that will give you great depth and great target separation at the same time. From there, the really only changes you can make are to the discrimination pattern, and that's, you can just select whichever segment you want to notch out. It's fully adjustable, and then you can just turn on and off whichever segments you need to at the time. The 540 has 25 discrimination segments, the 440 has 12 discrimination segments, and the 340, the very entry-level unit, has only 5 segments. So it's really simple to use. The other thing that we're really excited about in the Vanquish is the iron bias control that we've got in there. So the 340 and 440 have a high iron bias level, which is absolutely fantastic for rejecting bottle caps. So in the 340 and 440, you just won't detect bottle caps, basically. So it treats, when you swing over a bottle cap, it will treat it as a ferrous target, and you won't have to bother about digging it up because it won't sound like a coin for you. In the 540, we've got a control which can toggle that between a high and low level. So in the low level, if you're in a very dense ferrous trash environment and you're trying to find any hint of a good coin, a nice hammered coin somewhere in a very ferrous trashy environment, then you can set that iron bias level to low, and that'll help you sniff out those non-ferrous tones in amongst the trash. So that's something we're really excited about and is working really well.
So are there any other little hits and tips and inside information into the control box that we can go, or would you like to go and give me a bit of a look at the testbed itself?
There's really nothing else hidden about it. Everything is fully presented to the user. When you look at the detector, the button, if you see a button there's a control on the screen that it controls. There's nothing else hidden that you need to be concerned about. It's all just there and ready to go.
It's the perfect machine for a new starter, really, then.
Exactly. You can turn it on, and if you want to control something straight away, the button's just there. You don't have to navigate any awkward on-screen menus or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Right, well, if you don't mind, obviously we're here now with the machines on. If you could just give me a bit of a look at what you do, what the machine does over certain finds.
Absolutely.
So what mode are we in currently?
So we're currently in the coin mode, so that's our fast recovery mode. We can work our way over to our test bed. We've got 3 lanes set up here today. There's a beginner, intermediate and advanced lanes, so they're set up for anyone to come and try their machine. So let's give it a go and see how the Vanquish does.
Well, before we do that, if you don't mind me asking, what is the difference between the beginner level and the professional level of the lanes?
So the beginner level is a little bit larger targets and shallower, so it's just easier for a detector to spot. And as we progress forward, the targets get a little bit smaller and a little bit deeper. They're a bit harder to find.
Simple explanation. So right, we're at the beginner lane, and we're looking at a button at 16 centimetres. So James I'm going to let you hear the beeps as well. James is having a play over swinging over the area, so here we go.
So one thing we noticed with the Vanquish, we've got the multi-IQ technology of Equinox. and that gives us incredibly stable target IDs as we're swinging over a target. You're not going to see it jumping around too much.
So you were actually getting minus figures in that. I'd suggest there's a bit of iron in the ground near the area of the button.
Yeah, the ground itself is quite mineralised in this particular field, so we're getting a little bit of that target there.
And we're looking at a signal of around 30-32 for the button. So you can hear that quite simply. So that was the button at 16 centimeters on the beginner level. If we move on now to the intermediate level, obviously we'll be able to hear something a little bit. Now this is a gold ring at 17 centimeters. So obviously that's indicating it's giving you around an 8 or 9. It's a deeper tone, and it's giving you arrows to show you the potential depth of the coin, the ring as well.
Yeah, so we've got the depth gauge on the screen there, which shows how deep the target is. So we've got 1 to 5 bars there. So 1 is a shallow target and scales up all the way up to 5 bars, showing the deeper targets there.
Brilliant.
And that's going to depend on the particular target type. So we can't give an exact distance measurement associated with that. It's just a general indicator.
So if we pop on now to the advanced area, obviously I'm trying not to keep you too long, and we've got a small 3 centimeter by 1.5 centimeter watch winder. This is on the advanced lane at 17 centimeters. So we're getting a jumpy signal. Obviously James explained about the mineralisation in the field, but we're also getting quite a solid tone as well of around 17 for the watch winder. So in a moment, when James has finished this, I'm actually going to pick up the machine myself off him, if that's okay. Try and hold everything in one hand, just to see the feel of the Vanquish personally. So we're opening the Velcro strap, and it's actually set perfect for me currently. It's a well balanced machine. If it does want to dip at all, the arm rest is actually holding it in a decent position for me too. It's got a nice swing pattern, and obviously I can understand what the tones are more or less straight away. As everybody knows, I am the world's technophobe of the metal detecting industry, so even I would be able to understand what's happening and dig that. Now, if I pop to the next one, it's an advanced again lane. It's 3 centimeters. It's a small lead bullet. Sorry.
A lot harder target, that one.
It is a lot harder target, but again, the machine is telling me that there's something there, and it's something that I would dig straight away. So if I hand you that back, yes, a well balanced, comfortable machine. Obviously, all the little bits and bobs, the folding up, especially for a larger machine, is a fantastic concept.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was one of the main focuses, was make it dead easy to use and make it as small and collapsible as possible.
Brilliant. So is there any other information that you could think of, James, that you'd like to discuss about the machine?
I think those are the key points at the moment. If anyone wants to know any more, just head over to the Minelab website. There's minelab.com/vanquish, and you'll be able to find out all the exact technical details of all the models.
Fantastic. My colleague Luke's with me as well. He's been taking a few videos of while we've been talking. As I say, there's loads of things in the test bed. So if you are listening and you are still at Detectable, come on over and have a try of the Vanquish and other machines. And there's obviously a grave been dug for me to get in later when I'm falling asleep. So James, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time and your explanation. It's been perfect. It's everything that I've needed to know and the listeners have needed to know. You've been able to gather.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for having me.
So good luck with the machine, and good luck obviously with the rest of the time, and I hope people enjoy the machines.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what we hope too.
Brilliant. So that was James Crossman from Minelab. Thank you very much again, James. You can get back to helping people as opposed to having to talk to me. So yeah, all in all, the machine launch, it's gone well. The detectable itself, obviously Minelab sponsored, has worked brilliantly. Everything's gone to plan, and obviously the Vanquish is currently coming on the market in the near future. So again, follow Minelab on the social media for more information. I think you can, well, I know because I've had an email last night. You can sign up for regular updates, newsletters and such like from Minelab on minelab.com. So you will get an email to tell you when the machine is out actually, with obviously prices, which looks like the lowest currently around 229 to the higher level model is a bit more expensive obviously. So there you go. I'm Dave Sadler. This is the Big Metal Detecting Podcast, which will probably also be put on the All Metal Mode UK channel and also Global Detection Adventures. So we'll be able to get this information to you obviously on several different areas, so more people can learn about the Minelab Vanquish machine. So I'm off to back to the stall at the Archaeology Metal Detecting Magazine stall at Detectable, because it's inside and it's far too warm, and it's only 10:30. The weekend's been absolutely stunning. You couldn't have asked for better weather, and as you can hear, my voice is getting croaky from the podcasts and other things that we've been up to. So hope you all have a good time, and please do visit minelab.com to learn more about the Vanquish, and obviously there'll be more information on social media, because the amount of people here who are obviously videoing YouTube and such like, you will find information, and give it a look. It looks like it's a good concept for the future. Have a good day everyone.